I know I'm a little late with this one. Kill me. But we had to ensure, the vibes were right for this preview, film in the regular old studio, that's fine. In fact, it's probably preferable, to be honest with you. But a garden preview for Serie with, Mary in the background, that's lovely. So thanks for joining me, ladies and gentlemen. And let's start with the relegation zone in Italy. Now, just as I did with my La Liga preview, I'll keep the sections short and sweet. Salernitana escaped by the skin of their teeth last season. It was a great escape, a very much welcomed one for a neutral, as it added a lot of drama at the bottom between themselves and Cagliari, but I don't see them having that same sort of luck this season. I see them finishing in 20th. Cremonese, they had the second youngest side in Serie B history last season, and they haven't exactly added a lot of experience to their side in order to help them stay afloat. I don't think it will work, and there's nothing inherently wrong with having a young side, but it doesn't typically work out when the odds are already stacked against you and you don't have a veteran to look towards. Yes, I'm an ageist. I hate young people. I was joking there, obviously, but I'm not joking when I say that I think that Cremonese will finish in 19th place this season. And the final team I see going down this season is Spezia. They were 6 points above safety last season, and while they brought in Dragowski as a replacement in goal, as well as Agudelo as a reinforcement on the right, I think this is the year that Spezia head back down to Serie B. I wish Gotti luck, who was appointed on July 1st. I see them finishing in 18th and going down a couple of points behind Empoli. In 10th place, I see Hellas Verona, a side that is typically so difficult to play against. They finished in 9th last season under Igor Tudor, but with Tudor leaving for Marseille this summer, new manager Gabriele Sioffi definitely has it against him, especially if the rumors of Giovanni Simeone leaving to Napoli are indeed true. I think they'll start slow, but Sioffi and the squad will find their footing and finish as mid-table as you can in 10th. Speaking of losing important pieces of the squad, Sassuolo is one of those teams that seems to consistently leak talent year upon year, and this summer was no exception as Scamacca left for West Ham, and there are rumors that Raspadori could be on his way out as well. To lose one striker like that is tough, but to lose another important attacker, you're not exactly setting up Dionisi for success, but to make up for it, they signed Peñarol striker Agustin Alvarez, as well as Christian Thorsvedt. The changes in the squad give me pause, but they'll rally and end up in 9th, I think. And finally, in 8th, I'm looking at Atalanta. Bit of a strange situation there, as last season it felt like Gasperini's influence was slipping, and the team itself slipped all the way down to 8th last term. The squad feels like it needs a bit of a refresher, as vital pieces have been taken from them, such as Romero last season, and they haven't really been able to find the replacements that live up to the standards of those that they lost. I apologize for the airplane. But anyways, it's a simple equation to figure out just how you think they will do with that in mind. Lovato, who was brought in last season, he's already been sold off. Things haven't worked incredibly well with the players acquired. Who knows, maybe Demiral will be able to be that monolith in defense for them, but I think it's going to be another frustrating season for La Dea. I have them in 8th once again. The gap between the top 7 and the rest of the league will probably be pretty pronounced this campaign. I have Lazio in 7th place this season, 2 places lower than the sides around them, and that's strictly because I think they haven't really improved their squad as much for Sarri as those teams around them have. Where Fiorentina, Roma, etc. have done great work in the market, as we'll look at, Lazio have added an extremely injury-prone and looks like he's past it, Alessio Romagnoli. Same could potentially be said of Mattias Vecino. Those are the big names, but they also improved their goalkeeper position in bringing in Maximiano. Buddy got himself sent off early, however, in that first game. I don't find Lazio's squad to be that compelling. Maybe I'm not seeing something here that is blatantly obvious, but I think they'll continue on with Immobile and his goals being their biggest attraction. Perhaps a good cup run in there as well as they finish in 7th. Vincenzo Italiano pulled out some great results last season for Fiorentina as he continued to impress from his stint as Spezia manager onto his time in Florence. And despite losing a player of Vlahovic's caliber mid-season, they still managed 7th, and there is reason to feel good about them finishing one place higher in 6th, which is where I have them. In his second year, Italiano will be hoping that the defensive lapses that plagued them at times last season will be just a piece of history, while the arrival of Luka Jovic for free, by the way, from Real Madrid, will help to bolster their attack. One Serbian striker out and another one comes back in. If he can find his Frankfurt form, then Fiorentina could be cooking. They also have previously solid yet erratic Atalanta keeper Pierluigi Golina on loan, Mandragora adds to their midfield, and Dodo provides a threat down the right side from the right back position. So yeah, I think Fiorentina will be tough again, and 6th for me this time. And finally, we get to the top 5, which I could, literally shake up a Yahtzee cup and go with whatever order comes out in my mind. I mean, that's not entirely true. There are 2 teams I was debating between for the top spot, and 2 teams I was debating between for 4th and 5th. And in 5th, I have AS Roma. I honestly could see them as high as 4th, maybe 3rd if everything went right, but I worry about 2 main components for them, Zaniolo and Dybala. If both are healthy, as we saw against Salernitana, I think AS Roma will really be a massive headache for every team up and down Italy. Them, plus the insane vision and ability to hit a long diagonal ball from Mancini from deep, and they look like a team that can either pass through you or strike quickly with a killer ball. Their finishing is a bit all over the place, but like I said in the weekend recap, having seen them in preseason as well, they at least seem to be evolving attacking-wise, and they're getting players in the right positions, which is probably the most important part. I also think Zalewski is going to continue on his trajectory from the latter half of last season, while Wijnaldum will help to solidify that midfield and add some creativity to it as well, so long as he can reach the form we knew he was capable of at Liverpool, and he doesn't have a continuation of his time with PSG. I think Mourinho is genuinely happy in Italy. He certainly seems to be, at least, and the supporters seem to love him, which goes a long way at this point in his career. I think the fight for the top 4 will be a bloody one, with Roma sitting just outside of it come the end of match day 38. Coming through in 4th is a team that lost 3 big names in Koulibaly, Mertens, and Insigne, but I don't think it will be a mortal wound for them, just a flesh wound here. The biggest loss of the 3 is likely to be Koulibaly, in my opinion, though his replacement in Min Jae Kim looks like an absolute beast. Ostergaard is also around to provide some cover in that position too. Vada also arrives as the replacement to Insigne down the left, and he's already looks like, I won't say an upgrade, but he's just so damn direct that the danger he will likely provide them will really add a lot to this team's attack, especially if Chucky Lozano is flying down the right and can stay in form himself. It comes and goes with him, or at least that's sort of been the story of his time thus far for Napoli, but he showed some great moments towards the end of last season. Overall, Napoli under Spalletti look as though they will evolve into a solid team. Lobotka in the midfield alongside Zielinski and Anguissa, a solid attack to support Osimhen. They'll cause issues, and I have them in 4th. I really think the top 4 will be tight, and just ahead of Napoli will be Juve. Juve have had a big window thus far, and the only areas of the pitch that I really worry for them could be in the fullback positions. That is, if they find themselves relying on Danilo and Alexandro as opposed to Cuadrado. Other than that, they have fortified the midfield with the Pogba signing. At least in theory, as it seems like he's due for another injury-plagued season. Already out, he opted not to get surgery in order to make the World Cup, which could have negative effects for him down the road. That knee, not looking good. Bringing in Angel Di Maria, you guys know how much I love him. You've probably seen the video I did on him recently. Great signing, as he can provide both goals and assists. He helps out any way he can in the attack. We'll see what his injury he picked up looks like. Then there is Kostic, a stunning signing for their left side, Cambiaso, another left back, and Bremer to fill in for De Ligt. They could still use another midfielder, in my opinion, as Pogba and co can't be trusted to stay healthy. So that's why Paredes has been linked so heavily with a move to Juve. We'll see if that pans out. Do I believe in Allegri to turn Juve into the side they are capable of being with the attacking talent that they boast? Not really, but he is a steady manager. He keeps things steady. It's really eye-gougingly boring at times, but he will definitely get top 4, and I have them in 3rd. And so the fight for the Scudetto will come down to Inter and AC Milan. Like I said, I think this will be a very, very, very tight race this year, with it coming right down to the final match days once again, and hopefully a 3-team race. First, you have Inter, who have largely kept their squad the same, but made some additions, bringing back Lukaku to reignite the Lalu partnership up front. Those guys were destroying Serie 2 seasons ago, so if they can get that going again, then Inter will be a headache once again. Aslani and Bellanova arrive. I know very little about them, while Mkhitaryan will provide depth in their attacking midfield options, and Andre Onana comes to finally provide some reliability in goal. That's the hope at least, and I expect him to be pretty damn good, though he does have some errors in him as well. I think he'll overall be better than Handanovic. Inzaghi showed just how good of a manager he is last season, picking up the Coppa Italia and falling just short to AC Milan and Pioli in the Scudetto race. And Pioli, he has a tough job ahead of him to live up to the lofty expectations around the team. Lofty from some, as a lot of Milan supporters have felt a little bit down surrounding their transfer window, but maybe they need not worry so much as they made some key signings, I think. Their defense and goalkeeper positions were already fantastic, having one of the best defenses in the league last season, tied for the best with Napoli, that is. That back line of Teo, Kalulu, Tomori, and Calabria will be solid once again, with Magnan backing them up. I have no worries in midfield, especially once Tonali comes back. They added De Catalara, one of the most exciting young European talents, to bolster their attack, brought in Origi to do the same as their daily driver, likely, and added competition for Rebic. Maybe another right winger would have been good, but I mean, beggars can't be choosers, right? When you look at the two squads, it's definitely advantage Inter when it comes to talent, and that's why most people have them in first. That and the return of Lukaku, which people expect will wreak havoc on the league. And that may just be the case, but I have Milan finishing in first for the second consecutive season. I think that the gap between the two isn't as wide as people think, and on top of that, people forget what made Milan successful last season. It was never about having the strongest squad in the league. It was about Pioli's tactics, experienced veterans in certain positions to guide this young squad, and the recruitment department bringing in players that contribute to Milan's sum being greater than its parts. I expect the same this season. Look, I might be wrong. It's a guess, after all. This Inter side will be deadly if they play to their best, but I get a good feeling from Milan and the little additions they made to boost their title-winning side. So guys, here's my full table. Again, I didn't bother speaking about the mid-table obscurity sides like AC Monza, etc., though they will definitely be a team you should keep your eye on. They signed some great players. It's Galliani and Berlusconi back in Serie A. It's an interesting team, for sure. Alright guys, be sure to let me know who you think will win Serie A, and if you're up to it, let me know your full table. I know that's asking a lot. Put your table on the table though. Beyond that, thanks for your patience, thanks for watching, and enjoy the season. Ciao.